to you, but then chances are they're going to be wearing a lot of armour, so it's just going to skid off. Whereas far more.
Anytime there's something really cool, somebody else has it as well at the same time.
Yep, but it's a problem. You've always got to have better equipment, which is why the weapons change as well to match. So you've got, once you get the plate armour, the poleaxe becomes very common because you've got nice long path, sharp spikes, and you can actually, with enough force, you can drive them through the plates. And if you can't drive them through the plates, you can crush the articulations. So if you can get a strong blow against something like that, to maybe just jam the plates up a bit, make the leg a bit stiffer so they can't move so much.
That's really something. Do you normally have to wear the hat and shoes when you're
No. No,
These shoes are pretty neat.
I have steel toe cap trainers actually. I don't like boots anymore, so I have these toe cap trainers. Except the problem is, whenever you're doing anything like this, something falls off, it never lands on your toes anyway. It always lands about there, right behind where any protection is going to be, so you always end up injured no matter what. Yeah, there's no way to beat it really. Right, I'm afraid I have to go. We have a display to do.
You're going to joust?
In the rain. This is a foot combat display. I also sell to, I have museums, get stuff. I've done stuff at Globe Theatre as well. So
not the kind of thing you'll buy at Marks and Spencer's, but
no, there's still plenty of scope for armour as well. So there's not a lot of us throughout the country.
How did you learn that skill?
I taught myself. So I was fortunate enough. I worked for a little while at a company. Did film prop armours. So actually working in resins, but they had an armoury there at the time, and so I saw some of the guys working, but there was no time to actually have any lessons, anything like that. So I just started using the kit and taught myself how to do it in spare time.
How old were you when you started?
When
were you in high school or?
No, I was about mid-20s when I started doing armour. But I started doing blacksmithing when I was about 16. So first far into metal work, I was only about 7, I think. I was doing casting when I was about 7 years old. So.
Did you learn it from your father, or this was just something you just picked up out of the blue?
Taught myself how to do it all. So, my father actually trained as a silversmith years ago when he was at college, and then went to do dental castings, that sort of thing. So, but I never actually never sort of picked up anything from him, because of course he wasn't really doing anything of that kind. So, no, I had to learn how to do it. You have to learn hammer techniques, but one of the other things you have to learn is how to cut patterns. Because of course the pattern of a piece of plate that fits the body is completely different, say, when you're doing fabric. Because fabric, you kind of allowing it to stretch and move around the body, whereas this you have to literally form it, and the shape of something changes drastically the minute you start putting a deep curve into it.
And what happens if you have, bodies of different shapes, fat people,
you make it to fit the person.
Oh, you make it individually. You actually make it individually.
Yeah. So there's very few things which are made to a fixed pattern. Things are generally tailored to each size. So, I mean, that one's fairly generic off the peg breastplate I'm working on at the moment, but others I do are very much made to measure. I had to make one for a guy who had a 27-inch waist, really thin guy. So very small, very difficult to get exact, but it fitted him perfectly.
So you're making a suit of clothes. That actually has to fit like a suit of clothes.
Well, he has to be able to sit on a horse, ride, do all the movements that you do if you were doing things normally. So it can't interfere with the saddle, anything like that. Yeah, you have to be able to flex side to side, because it's not just going to fit the body. You've got to then be able to move. And when you move that way, the body gets shorter. And you've got to. The one thing everyone seems to get wrong these days is where the waist is. Everybody thinks the waist is here, whereas it's about an inch above the belly button if you're talking anatomically. So when you make a breastplate, you've got to have a slot in there, so it can move, and this section here can actually move as well. So you can lean side to side, you can compress the body. Same at the side, you've got slots there. So as you move, you can lean sideways, and that will all just slide up and spring back down again.
They've done that in the old days as well. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, King Arthur and all that time,
it's all
the round table.
Everything's medieval technology. It's all, we've got to use the methods that were done then. If they hadn't had that then, it's like the leg. When your leg is standing like that, your leg isn't straight, it actually bends and out again. When you bend your leg that way, it becomes straight. So the leg armour has to cope with both of those positions. which is why you have to have all around the knee, you have a whole range of little slots. At the top of the plates, you have to have articulation, so when you lift your leg up, it actually compresses up and flexes here. So it's every single bit, even the gauntlets have to have the flexibility. So these ones have little slots in, so that when it's on your hand, you can move the wrist around.
So they were custom made for it though? You'd come and get measured, fitted,
Yes.
fitted like a tailor?
Yeah. I do very little off the peg pieces. Almost everything I do now is just made to measure. So
You make a living out of this, making it for these guys at the show, or it's a hobby?
moderate living.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make me rich, that's for sure.
No, but you can do it. There's a lot of people demanding this stuff around the world. You make
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much booked up till next year with commission work. One of the things is a body arm for someone that's got to be covered in silk velvet and fitted with gilded fittings. So it's got to have hundreds of studs all gilded.
My brother does this.
I'm into a party like that.
My brother. He fights in Florida for an American club or something like that. They go fight and then he has his own. It took me years to afford it. Buy one piece at a time or something like that. But
yeah, well, I started off with the idea that I could make my own.
Yeah, but it's just amazing. It's so popular that people really still want to do this.
Yeah, I started doing it because I wanted my own armour, and
She wants
I have no, I have.
made some out of it.
The only bit I've got is I've got a back and breast, and even that wasn't made for me. I needed one in a hurry, so that was made for stock piece, and then I made a backpack to go with it in the day because I needed something to protect my back for what I was doing.
Impressive you do that in a day.
And so I've never actually had a proper armour of my own.
Yeah.
So in all that time, everything else is all stuff I've been given, loaned, all that sort of thing from people I used to work with. Yeah.
Really impressive. Really good skill and good work.
I want to see someone come back to him and say, it shrunk in the wash.
Ah, yeah.
You do have problems.
Are you sure
You do have problems with
shrinks?
people as well because commissions can take quite a long time, especially
Oh, they
full suit.
change.
Oh,
Is
God,
that they
you
change
gain weight.
shape,
Yeah.
so they can't put weight on. I had one guy,
Oh, yeah.
and he had I think it was about a 57-inch chest once he was wearing his padding coat,
Yeah.
but he was massive anyway.
That guy, yeah.
And so that thing, by the time I cut out the blank to make his breastplate from, and it covered this stump and you couldn't see it.
My God.
So the normal
So
breastplate
he had to
size
stay
is
fat,
that.
couldn't get fatter, couldn't lose weight.
Yeah.
No,
It's a good excuse.
Well, there you go.
but he
I
got
can't
bigger.
lose weight,
He's
so
got
I'll
bigger
take
as
my
far as I
armour.
know. So.
And I can't eat that, so I'll get too fat.
Yeah, it's better to be thin than
Yeah, because
have
that's a
meat.
normal size, and you see that. But
Yeah,
easily you can.
exactly, for a
It's not that
couple.
big at all, and
Yeah, my
that'll
brother's
fit.
huge.
That'll fit someone who's about 42, 44-inch chest.
So is that 2 mil steel you've got?
That one is 1.5.
No, God,
So
yeah.
it might cover the chest, but not the belly.
Yeah.
You don't cover the belly because the belly's below where the breastplate should sit.
I was talking about my belly plate.
So what happens when they fight?
Normally.
They don't have them in that area?
Well, what happens with the shape of the armour is because you you still have covering there, but because the waist is above the belly button, which when someone's overweight becomes a bit tricky because the belly button position shifts. So you've got to try and find where the body goes in. So it's basically about here, but when someone's overweight, it's very difficult to find, especially if they're wearing the padding that they want to have with their armour. But it should sit really quite high, so that one needs shaving down there for where it'll have a turned edge for the throat, so you don't rub on there. But that's very high. But what you'll have then extending from there is another set of plates that extend down.
So complicated. How do you do a commission then? You get somebody from America, they got to come over and get measured, or they just give you the measurements?
Yeah, they can send me the measurements, but really you need to do fittings.
So they gotta come to you.
I had a message from someone in the States the other day wanting a set of armour made, but he's wondering about when he can actually get over. So he's talking about actually flying over, especially, and getting fitted.
You're going to be really dedicated to this as a hobby.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
I
well, I've
think
had
golf
friends
is easy.
like.
We golf. Friendly golf?
I had a friend who lived in this country. He's gone back to the continent now, but he actually went over to America for one of his fittings because he had his harness made in the States. Another guy had a helmet made, but what he did, his armour was over in the country for a tournament, and so he actually did a plaster cast of his shoulder section. Had a whole load of photos, so basically recreated the shoulder and neck section as a cast. Had cut out the full-size profile and front shots of his head, so he created his little slot together thing of his head, and then built the helmet around that.
Bring technology.
I think Yeah, that's
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah, you
very
need a
much.
3D scanner.
Thanks.
3D scanner.
Fascinating, isn't it? I don't know when my brother had his team's pretty good. He used to fight, like, I remember they fought against Pennsylvania or something. They travel all over the South, so it's quite fun for him to do it. Because he lives in Florida, he might drive up to Pennsylvania for a weekend.
Is he fighting with proper swords or is he doing SCA? Now SCA they fight with rattan stick type things.
Oh no, what did we see, Tim? We saw a film of it, we burst out laughing.
It was all a bit dodgy.
If you
I
hit
thought.
them, then you had, like, if you got hit in the arm, then you couldn't use that arm again.
That sounds like SCA.
Yeah, and if you get hit in the leg, then that you had to go down one leg. Yeah, well, we were dying laughing. He was serious about it, but we were just...
It was too much like that scene in Monty Python film where John Cleese gets chopped
they,
off one by one.
Yeah,
the
you want to
Society
fight?
of Creative Anachronism has a very fixed set of rules about combat, so you have to adhere to that. You also have a very hierarchy system built into it.
Yeah.
So
He
each
was a
region,
serf to begin with.
each
and he worked
region
his way
of
up.
the states, you've got the full hierarchy,
Yeah.
including you'll have the king and queen of
That's
your
right.
barony. And
He
all that
started
sort of
off
thing.
as like a serf or something to a king. He
No, he was a page boy.
page boy. Oh, we teased the hell out of him for that, I tell you. So it was great. But no, he's got his own kid and he's having a good time.
Yeah.
Somebody's making money out of him because he's always saving up and buying. So
Yeah.
someone like you can do that. It's really cool. Thanks for all that information.
That's okay.
Well, why are you living here at all?
You watched the program, Metal Workers.
Yes, I did.
5 million to be money.
Well, if you're talking comparatively, I wish we could earn that much, that's a bit.
But what is it?
Yeah, I really felt some shame in that one, that while I know Jeff Wasson, who was the armourer they had on the show, he's a really good armourer, but I really felt in a series that they were calling, as well as Metalworks, it was part of the Made in Britain season, they went to an American armourer.
Yes, I
When the
thought,
UK
I thought, why would you do that? He's a jouster as well, isn't he?